The Denver Nuggets have won their last 3 games by a combined 49 points. In their most recent outing against the banged up and therefore bottom-feeding Indiana Pacers, the Nugs were without both Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon on the second night of a back-to-back, but the Joker Nikola Jokic's 32, 14, and 14 masterclass, combined with Coach David Adelman getting a solid performance from his bench, was enough to give Denver its 7th win, which has come in a span of 8 games. Their only L over that frame was to the Denny Avdia-led Blazers, who were actually dangerous with Jeremy Grant, Shaedon Sharpe, Drew Holiday, and Toumani Camara. That was a close 2-point L the Nuggets took to Portland, but Denver's more than keeping up with up-and-coming young cores in the West, like those Blazers, along with the Rockets, Thunder, who they took to 7 last spring, plus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Given how Aaron Gordon's playing the most efficient basketball of his career by far, along with how their depth is looking with Hardaway Jr., Valanciunas, and Brown Jr. combining for 29 in the recent W, not to mention Denver having the best duo in basketball in Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, Denver's recent obliteration of teams has been telling about where they currently stand. According to ESPN, Aaron Gordon's the only player in the NBA to be posting a shooting line of 50, 40, 90 while averaging 20-plus points per game. We'll talk about Aaron in a future Nuggets video, so subscribe for that and leave a like on this video, but his absence against the Pacers on the back end of a doubleheader gave the opportunity for others to shine bright, and they did just that. A miraculous 9 players scored at least 6 points against the Pacers, as led by Tim Hardaway Jr., who had 17 off the pine. These Nuggets showed how deep they really are. The reason this is scary for the West is that Denver already took the eventual championship-winning OKC Thunder, who we talked about yesterday, to 7 games without having the depth they currently have. I mean, they were relying on a bench composed of players like Russell Westbrook, DeAndre Jordan, and Dario Saric. It's not like those players were so terrible and were bringing down the system, but it's that players like Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, and 2023 NBA champion for the Nuggets Bruce Brown Jr. fit in better with what the Nuggets are trying to do in terms of spacing and positional needs, plus are maximizing the system more than the likes of Westbrook, Jordan, and Saric. Through 9 outings, Tim Hardaway Jr. is shooting an NBA 29th best 46% from three-point range on 5.6 three-pointers attempted per game. The grizzled 13-year veteran who's playing for his 5th different team in the association has brought a level of calm, cool, and collectedness that the Nuggets were aiming for when they signed him to a 1-year, $3.6 million deal. He's earning his money so far, and then some, as he's thriving next to the best player he's ever played next to. That leads us back to Nikola Jokic, who's leading the Nuggets in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and minutes played per game. Jokic's 25-point triple-double averages on the year, albeit through just 9 games, speak to the 3-time MVP's beastliness. Jokic is once again the center of everything, literally and figuratively. The 3-time MVP is averaging a jaw-dropping 25.2 points, a career-high 13 rebounds, and a career-high 11.9 assists per game, casually bending the rules of what a center is supposed to be. His command of tempo, space, and decision-making has become almost eerie in its precision. Every offensive possession flows through him, and the Nuggets' offense hums like clockwork because of it. Jokic doesn't just read defenses, he manipulates them, luring opponents into traps with his eyes or a single head fake. Whether it's a no-look dime to a cutting Gordon, a pick-and-pop with Murray, or a step-back jumper at the end of the clock, Jokic's game has reached a point where it feels unfair. He dictates pace at will, forcing opposing bigs into uncomfortable territory, too slow to guard him outside, too small to contest him inside. And when the defense overcommits, he punishes them with the kind of passing vision you'd expect from a point guard, not a 7-footer. It's not just domination, it's orchestration. Denver doesn't just play through Jokic, they play because of him. Everything starts with his mind, his patience, and his ability to make even the simplest possessions look like art. The ripple effect of Jokic's brilliance is evident all over the roster, with Jamal Murray averaging 22.8 points and Aaron Gordon posting a hyper-efficient 20.1. Denver's offense has multiple threats operating at star levels. Murray provides that downhill pressure and shot creation that perfectly complements Jokic's patience, while Gordon's off-ball movement and finishing make him the ideal partner for the Joker's playmaking. Murray and Jokic have reached a telepathic level of chemistry, executing pick and rolls and improvisational plays that no defense seems to have an answer for. Gordon, on the other hand, continues to redefine his role as the ultimate glue guy, spacing the floor when needed, but also thriving as a cutter and finisher. But the most dangerous part? Jokic makes everyone else, even role players, feel like part of the masterpiece. Christian Braun's 11.9 points per game and Tim Hardaway Jr.'s 11.4 are perfect examples of that ecosystem working. They aren't just stat padding. They're producing efficiently within the structure Jokic sets. Every cut, flare screen, and rotation feels deliberate. A product of a system where the best player also happens to be the best passer in basketball and the best passer of all time. It's one thing to have talent, it's another to make that talent coexist seamlessly, and Jokic has mastered the latter. On the other end, Jokic's defense remains one of the most underrated aspects of his game. I find it very disrespectful when people call Nikola Jokic a subpar defender. He ranks third among all centers in defensive rating and is anchoring a Denver defense that ranks second in the association. He may not swat shots into the stands, but he walls off drives, anticipates passing lanes, and positions himself 2 moves ahead of most opponents. His ability to read angles and neutralize matchups through positioning is what makes Denver's team defense click. His rebounding, 13 per game, many of them contested, still anchors Denver's identity, and his outlet passing continues to spark easy transition buckets. When Jokic grabs a board, it's not just the end of a defensive possession, it's the beginning of an offensive one. His connection with Gordon and Brown in transition has become nearly automatic. What separates this year's Nuggets from past versions is that their defense leads directly to their dominance. Stops turn into mismatches, and Jokic's outlets create chaos. Denver's blowout wins aren't coming from fluky hot shooting nights, they're built on control, execution, and the inevitability of Jokic's fingerprints being on every aspect of the game. He's not just the best player on the floor most nights, he's the reason everyone else looks better than they would anywhere else. All of this adds up to a team that feels terrifyingly complete. Denver's current balance, Jokic's all-time level statistical prominence, Murray and Gordon's consistent 20-plus point per game scoring, and reliable production from Brown and Hardaway Jr. makes them one of, if not the most stable force in the West. They've got firepower, composure, and chemistry, and they don't even need to be at full throttle to bury teams by double digits. Their recent 49-point combined margin of victory over 3 games is more than just a hot streak, it's a warning shot to the rest of the league. When Jokic is smiling and in rhythm, the Nuggets feel untouchable. They can adjust to any style, grinded out half-court battles, fast-paced shootouts, or defensive slugfests, because their foundation is built on intelligence and trust. These annihilations aren't random, they're the byproduct of a superstar in total control and a supporting cast fully bought into his orbit. The West may be stacked with flashy contenders, but right now, it's Denver that looks like the one team already operating in championship mode. The Nuggets aren't chasing their identity anymore, they've found it, and behind Nikola Jokic, it's built to last.